Hello, ladies, gentle beans, the pug from Dune, and several raccoons in a trench coat. Welcome to the Byzantian Brewscast with your hosts, Chaotic Jexak.
And I'm Byzantian Dev.
Hello, and welcome to another week. In this week's news, Wizards of the Coast have done a thing again, probably. We've got homebrew stuff, and yes, many things are occurring. How are we this week?
All right. Having a quiet Sunday after last night's been most of the day in the sun, helping out the community games again.
Not sunning yourself.
So, yeah, and I don't like the sun much. It makes me all hot and irritable.
Makes sense.
It gets everywhere.
Sand? Question mark.
It's a nice day, but I don't agree with the sun.
Yeah.
So I didn't do much today apart from the usual. Do my usual run and just write a few things. Got things sent off. Maybe for a maybe job, but we'll find out. It's a Sunday, not much stuff going on. It's been a relatively quiet week.
That's good. Yeah, so
How about you two?
So I have been a busy goose this week, mostly work-related stuff, but I have been streaming a lot lately. I've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon 5 on stream this time, on this very Twitch channel. Go check it out if you're watching this on the VOD or on the YouTube, or you're listening to it on some platform at some stage. Yes, there is. I've been doing that. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, I saw my granddad and family members yesterday. That was nice. It was just kind of a catch-up and chat. We had some sausage rolls and some stuff from Greg's, and some little, like, donuts and stuff.
Jordan from Greg's, I swear. What they do to them.
Greg's at a moment. Friday, a seagull attacked me. That was funny.
For the whole day.
No, so I was on my way to F&M to do magic stuff. And I made the mistake of ordering a cheese and onion pasty from Greg's. And I was eating, I just left the bull ring, and this little fucker saw me, took one bite, swooped from behind me, and nicked the fucking thing. And then proceeded to caw at me.
Could get them. Oh, do you know what seagulls are when you think about it?
Go on.
They're just man-made, just natural drones.
Yeah.
We could train them to, like, carry bombs and stuff. We wouldn't have to just hire the drone operators.
Sheesh. Thursday, obviously, we did D&D, and that was a lot of fun.
We did. Again, we are a planning-heavy group.
Yeah. But we actually did do something, at least. We succeeded at something.
You did. They left you a lot of questions, though, to be fair.
Yeah. But hopefully, the next time we will actually go into an actual, real, proper, full-on dungeon. I mean, we did technically do some killing 2 sessions ago, but I have a hankering.
Dungeon.
Yeah, I have. I didn't actually think. I don't think I actually managed to hit anything in that previous dungeon. So I have a hankering to use my cantrips again for something. Oh, I wish for violence. I crave violence.
Well, there will be violence. There will be violence. That's been coming a few sessions now, but it will be coming.
And other than that, I have been... But we'll get to that in a bit. So on to our... It's Tabletop Book Club.
Just waiting for lag. There we are. Yeah. This week, I've got something very special I found in a Birmingham hospice shop for way cheaper than it should have been. The source book for the original Necromunda game, which was an amazing find. It's really fun to look at this stuff because this is going back to 2nd edition Warhammer rules with a bit of a change to it. So there's things called like the combat score, which I don't fully understand yet. Basically, just figures out how you actually win the fight, and there's a lot more maths to it than there is in later editions. So there's some it's funny thing with stuff that got phased out.
Yeah.
Like ranges. Like now it would be a bolt would have 24 inches range. That's the expected range. Some weapons have long, short, mid, and short range in second edition. Every weapon obviously has its own different long, middle, and short ranges. There's a lot more moving parts to it, so you can really see how much more streamlined it's got. However, there's one thing I do really like about this book, is that the rule is really goes really heavy into the actual lore of how the Underhive works. Basically, it doesn't very well, because it's just urban chaos all the time. There's mutants just everywhere, especially in the lower levels, and
Yep.
there's not really any sort of authority. It's just gangs fighting gangs constantly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can see the cults pop up, so it's just all the stuff the Imperium just doesn't want to deal with ends up in the Underhive. It's a really nice, really deep, really deep lore. That's really cool stuff. What I like about the actual gameplay though is the chance for stuff going wrong is so much higher than in Warhammer 40,000, which is really nice. Like if you roll a 6 to shoot with something, that would normally be like great. That's really good. In Necromunda, you roll a 6. That means your weapon might malfunction.
Oh no.
So if you basically had a roll, and every weapon has an ammo rating. So basically, what this is you need to roll that or higher, or your weapon it just breaks for the rest of the game.
Right. Ooh.
This is a good balance. This is actually a good balancing mechanic because basic stuff like we call it a stub gun. So, but basically a modern day pistol to us,
Yeah.
or an auto rifle, which again just a regular ballistic rifle we understand now. That's a 4+. Pretty basic. That works forever. The las gun, which is like they're meant to be like the weak laser weapon in 40k, is a 2+. So basically, it's really hard to make it stop working. It's
Okay.
almost incentive to pick. It's almost incentive to pick the safe weapons over the risky ones like the bolter, which is really good. But it's a 6+ to save it if it has a risk of blowing up or just not
Makes
working.
sense.
So it's basically picking equipment's really hard because you have to think, right, I could get this big gun, but it's like the heavy bolter again has a 6+ to on malfunctions. So it's a case of, do I want this many big guns that might just stop working or jam or something? When if you get loads of las guns that will just fire almost forever.
That works for me.
I love that I like how they balanced it a little bit. Some of the second edition stuff has obviously gone for a reason.
Yeah.
But I would like 40k more if there was more risk to some of the high-end strategies that everyone seems to spam. It would prevent
Yes.
certain things being taken all the time. I mean, not like weapon jamming, I suppose, but something to make that you can't just spam certain things forever.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like.
That's rather kind of fun for me right now with it.
Hmm.
Funny story, actually. I caught up with one of my friends, Mitchell, last night, and
Yes.
he's been getting an Imperial. I still say Imperial Guard, and it's meant to be Ashram Militarum, but I don't call it that. He's getting a guard army together for a stag do down Warhammer World later this year, and he's
Uh-huh.
never touched the game before.
That's a weird place
And
to
he's
go and
been
have your stag do, but okay.
no, he's going to America afterwards. So that's
Ah.
part of it, I think. Uh, this is his first real go in years assembling anything Warhammer. It
Hmm.
was like Lizard Men before. It's the new Imperial Guardsman kit, and he's just having a really crap time with the assembly because it's just again all the bespoke poses. I think I've talked about it once or twice on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he's really getting annoyed with like trying to put this is just for a guardsman with a las gun. He'll be on. This is taking hours to assemble, and it'll be like minutes on the board. it's been funny watching that from when it's not me getting annoyed at it. It's like, yeah, it's not just me. I am. It's everyone that just hates these kits. So that's fun.
Yeah. It's like, thanks,
But yeah,
thanks.
the
Why not?
Necromunda book. If you can get a PDF, or if you're really lucky, a proper version,
Mm.
um, highly recommended. But it's last time I checked, the whole box was going for like 170 quid. It's very well out of print at this point, now in production.
Mm.
But as a bit of a time capsule, it's a great book. That's what you picked up this week.
So I have a digital file. This is something called You might have heard of this, the Baby Bestiary by Metalweave Games and Andreas Walters. You may have heard of this.
I missed it once.
So it's a lot of like babby versions of things, like cubs and things. So we've got things
Oh, okay.
like blink puppies and such like. So I'll just go to like, for example, like cockatrices, like baby cockatrices, chicks,
Mhm.
everything from how, and each entry comes with a warning level, a warning level, a rearing difficulty, their intelligence level, and then everything from egg care to general care to training, and yeah, it's actually very cool. So I don't know if there's any like really. It doesn't seem like there's any like stat blocks per se, but it is just cool. If you wanted to, if someone picks up a pet or like adopts something, you have a huge amount of information that can help you
Ooh,
with organizing the
it's
checks
it's
and the
really
requirements to raise them.
you just give me a really good idea for making sure players don't have too many pets in D&D games.
Yeah,
Just borrow financial practices from the vet industry.
that works too. It's like, oh
Do you
yeah,
want to
Sphinx
keep that pet? Oh,
kittens.
sorry,
Yeah,
it's not tagged.
it's like you could adopt a Sphinx kitten. I mean, maybe, but like, let's be real, they're probably gonna
Do you
grow
know
up
the
to be
insurance on
smarter
that?
than you. Hmm?
Do you know the insurance on Sphinx Healthcare? That would stop it very quickly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wait a minute. Was this a a Titan a Titan tyke, aka like a baby Tarask, I guess. Rearing difficulty extremely difficult. Yeah, no
Oh, really?
shit. Because even from the egg, they're like fucking massive. 20 feet high.
I mean, a baby. What are you on about?
It's like, oh yeah, this fucking egg. It looks like a giant black boulder.
So, what year was this one released in? 'Cause mine
Um,
was
I
late
can't
80s, probably. We check it.
tell. Baby Beastie. I don't know when there's a time. Oh, 2013 Metal Weave Games. Yeah. So this
Ah,
would. So I guess it's supposed to be like rule system agnostic, which is nice. I mean, it's
yeah, because
obviously designed for like D and D because you got
yeah.
things like Beholderkin and
Yeah.
Tarrasque-kin, obviously with slightly different
Hmm.
names for things that are copyrighted. But it is really cool to have all this like raising information, just a huge compendium of it, particularly as it pertains to. I think there's like I'm going to assume there's like baby dragon stuff in here because
Yeah.
that would be like the obvious
It's,
one.
yeah. It's
Let me look
interesting
at
catching all that before the fifth edition was released as well, because it's been like a months or a year after.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Fun.
Dragon Wormling, yeah, number 28. So yeah, it's like your party is probably going to find an egg or adopt something at some bloody point, and this just slightly helps. Rather than having to come up with everything of like, oh, how does someone care for these blinking eggs? There's a book for that by a really decent third party group.
Yeah, it's interesting that they released this just before the new fifth edition. Well, fifth edition was new.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have had the stat blocks yet.
this is true. The first thing you need to
There's
do
another
with a dragon egg is identifying the type of egg. Yes, it's pretty true. Location you discovered the egg. Then noxious swamp would probably be a toxic green dragon. Once you identified the egg and decide you can hatch it, you quickly realize you lack the elemental breath of a mother dragon. You must find a way to replicate this breath on your own and bathe the egg in its element a few times a day. This will be easy for some, like a frost or water dragon, and more difficult for others. An egg can still hatch without exposure to its element, but its breath will never be as powerful as a dragon that was exposed. Now that is interesting.
Okay.
It is imperative
That's
that you understand that you are not in control of this dragon. It will never be your
yeah.
pet, and it will never submit to you. A dragon can be a companion, but only if it deems you worthy of its friendship. The bond between a dragon and its owner is strong, bested only by the bond between wizards and their familiars. Make sense? Best way to ensure a bond is to care for the dragon like it's your own child. Dragons are not only sentient, they're intelligent, and they can tell when they're being treated like a pet. Yeah, so it's not like there's certain like things in this compendium. You have to treat it more like you're raising a child because some of the things are sentient and intelligent.
oh, yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
okay. What's like the most off the wall one they've got in there outside of the Tarrasque?
I think there was a baby beholder.
Did they just have like the one eye, the little not stalks yet?
Let me have a look. Which was it? Was it
Sort of
Eilings,
looker.
maybe? Is it Eilings?
Hmm?
Mimicling, that's another funny one. I think it
I
might be
quite like
Eilings,
Mimicling.
maybe. 32. Ooh, Keyrins as well. Uh, yeah, Eiling. Yeah. Warning, extremely dangerous. Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, is that right?
Uh,
Hmm.
Someone say threat. Any time spent with a parent is singularly focused on magical research, theory, and practice, and nothing else. One theory is that after years of focusing on teaching the basics of arcane law to the Eiling, the parent selfishly desires to return to its own more advanced research. Early socialization is befriending a wild Eiling. Put bluntly, the younger you get one, the better. Just remember, you first approach an Eiling, it is probably just as disgusted and scared of your bizarre and frightful appearance as you are of it. So be sure to adopt a submissive posture and avoid making too much eye contact. Very weird.
The thing made entirely of eyes.
So it does have a bunch of eyes in the picture, but it's also weirdly friendly looking, or like as friendly as an
Okay.
eye beholder can be. And then there's like the next one, gelatinous cubelet, which to be fair is
Oh,
one that probably makes more sense actually, because wizards just be having gelatinous cubes. Like, where do they get them from?
think about landmines. You don't want to forget where you left your gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a good basis for a dungeon. Like
Mm,
looking for this wizard, but he just forgot where they left the cubes.
yeah. I mean, at least you don't have to worry about what kind of food to give it. Just give it anything.
You did have to feed it. People just wander in. Really, it's self-feeding.
Yeah. Harvesting a cubelet is so simple. Oh, harvesting a cubelet. So you just cut a chunk off of a large enough cube.
That's
That
really
makes
silly.
sense. Yeah, just harvest a bit of a thing. Drop the cubelet into a square chest lined with organic material. I use minced beef and leave it to. I love how this is like slightly in character. I use minced beef and leave it to set for a few days. You usually heat the wound that separates from the larger cube and merge ready to grow. Aww, little cubey boys.
It will melt your flesh. Don't touch it. So cute.
Yeah, a gelatinous cube tends to expand to the size of its container if given sufficient food. Yeah, there, yeah. Creative caretakers have been known to keep their cubes in strange-shaped containers, forming gelatinous spheres, hexagons, or even stars. I want to see a gelatinous sphere now.
Atlas dodecahedron would be a fun choice.
The
Or just get
the,
like
the gelatinous D20.
or just get like a container shaped like modern art pieces. That could be quite interesting.
Mm. Some of them put their like cubes in water so they become more like a gelatinous goo, which is interesting. Till a creature drinks from it, the corrosive paladin says the pitch again first to be consumed. That's interesting. Yeah, so that's some of these are really cool. Some of these are interesting. Some of these are a bit weird. But like there's things like griffin hatchlings, which absolutely makes sense. I feel like griffins are definitely one of the more one of the exotic ones that would definitely be reared in like some societies.
No,
You
I can
just
see
have
it. They're
domesticated
like
ones.
dragons, but you can actually tame them.
Yeah, because they're not nearly as intelligent is the thing. They are kind of bird-brained. They're just really, really big birds. I mean, they're also like half lion or whatever, but big birds.
And speaking from experience, they're quite good at rugby.
Yeah. But
It
yeah,
might not
their
be the case
intelligence
for
is
every griffin.
clever, but not like superior to a human.
Yeah.
They require a lot of stimulation in the form of play once they fledge. Aww. Just playing football or rugby with your pet little griffin, your griffin
I
fledgling.
was thinking, well, I get like a stuffed manticore or something. Little,
Just treat them like dogs. Yeah, just treat them like dogs, like friendly dog. Yeah, yeah. Get the stick.
this is the
Hit
thing
the
where like
stick.
Savage's toys by throwing its head back. Some of the dogs are really aggressive with that. It's very funny.
They've got kirins, kitsunes. That's weird because
Hearings.
kitsunes can become look like women, which is hilarious.
It's just your dog is now not a dog.
Your dog is now wanting to
That's
be your
all.
wife, which is really weird. It's like you have to explain to them no.
That's an awkward conversation every kitsune owner has to have with themselves eventually.
It's like, oh, a beautiful woman, but no, she's more like my daughter? Question mark.
That's, the more you think about that, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Let's kobold kids don't adopt kobolds, people. That's a terrible idea. Tiny leviathans, that's also a terrible idea.
Are any of these good ideas?
I guess griffins, to an extent, dragon, I guess. Phoenix hatchlings is probably one of the common ones as well because wizards just like having those.
Wizards are kind of weird though.
Yeah. What's the glossary? So we've got some of the more normal one. I say normal. As normal as you can get, you've got things like blink dog puppies. This makes sense. They're probably annoying to catch and stop them from just wandering at the
Oh,
blinking house. But
imagine Blink Dog Zoomies though.
a
It's
cockatrice
awful.
chicks I could see as well. Um, yeah, and things like manticore pups, minotaur calves, nightmare colts because they are just magical horses effectively. Phase kittens, same problem as blink dogs probably.
You want to catch a cat? It's just disappear into a demiplane.
It doesn't so much push your items off the counter as it pushes them out of reality.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's Baby Bestiary, and a lot of the art in there is absolutely adorable. I think I got this.
that's appropriate.
I think I got this from like a humble bundle thing for like a couple
Oh yeah.
quid. So definitely worth picking up. If nothing else, just look at the really cute art of baby griffins and baby owlbears because it's
Oh,
adorable.
there's a thought. How does the art compare to the Puggan? Uh, that third party Dragons book I got a while back.
It's actually really good. It looks really detailed. Like they've got
'Cause I
like
like that.
individual feathers and things. The
Oh,
griffin hatchlings look really fluffy. It is very cutesy, but it's not like chibi cutesy. There's an element of realism there, which is really nice. It's like
I can see it.
pretty. Like I think you might be able to find the front cover on the internet, and it is just cute AF. Anyway, that's that. So next segment we've got. I guess we move on to critical fumble because we have other things to be getting on with besides this. Critical
Yeah.
fumble. What we got?
Bit of humble. Yes. Oh, there's a lot. Yes, there's a lot more fumbles than success nowadays. I'm noticing. The one in particular that I want to bring up is so. Let me find the video. Yes, there it is. Is it Bungie that did this lot? It will come to me. Go through my search history.
Ah.
Uh, I have a lot of podcasts on here. Have a look. $80 game, right? Trying to find the exact quote. That's
Uh-huh.
good. That's good. That's good. Um, right. Find this one stupid video. Where's it buggered off to?
I can't find the video.
They've scrubbed it from internet. No, that's trying to remember the name of the franchise. It's really bothering me. Of course, you only pull a blank at the worst possible moment. That's me right now.
Uh-huh.
That's great. Borderlands. How? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Borderlands 4. That was what it was all about. Um, there has been some drama with the new release of Borderlands 4
Oh no.
because the CEO or the CFO, basically one of the main CEO of the actual publisher is saying, "Oh, if you're a real fan, you'll spend $80 on our game,"
Yeah.
which that's great. Because a great way to get people to like you is to just imply they're poor and say, "Oh, if you're a real fan, you know, you'll
It's
just
like
drop a
get
nice
is
$80
it
on it."
Get Out? No. The,
So that's fun. Although I can see other games going $80 and then going back down again because I not to put in
ye-
perspective, I didn't pay the equivalent of $80 for my version of Necromunda, and that was a first edition copy.
yeah.
So I'm not paying for like Borderlands 4 for that much.
No. I don't blame you. That's a really strict idea. Why?
There's very little I'd pay for $80 worth for, frankly,
Yeah.
unless it was really, really good. Like maybe MCM tickets for a weekend. Then I guess
Yeah.
don't have much to say in that. But outside of that, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Hmm. It's
And
just a bit.
the thing as well, I don't really know much about Borderlands. I've just followed it or watched people play it.
Hmm.
I will not be surprised if it comes out and it's quite mid.
Yeah. Like the
Like
previous
everyone's praising on that.
Borderlands wasn't like that impressive.
I'm sure the graphics will be absolutely amazing,
Hmm.
and everything else will be passable to bad.
Yeah.
Then we'll see that. I'll just put a flag in that and see how much of that comes true in the next few months.
Hmm.
What have you found this week? That's
So
who's on it up this time? Is it Wizards or
it's Wizard of the
Army?
Coast. They are back again
Oh,
for two things.
let's guess.
So one, the we've had some announcement about the next set, which is Edge of Eternities, which is the space opera set. Don't ask. It's a very weird idea, and no one's really
Quite.
impressed at this stage. Granted, we don't know what's in the set or anything like that at the moment, but we've seen the images what for like the commander decks, and no one's really impressed. So that's a great start. Second, they've done they've done several really exclusive things again. Great.
Oh, great.
So
Love those.
because it's like Magic Con, etc., they've got like exclusive shit going. One of them is actually weirdly enough, it's really cool, but you can't get it basically. So There is a copy of Swords to Plowshares, which is a famous and really decent Magic card, with Alizé on it from Final Fantasy XIV, and there is an
Right,
Alfinel card from the Final Fantasy TCG, as well,
right.
and they form a two-card panorama, which is really nice, and the art is amazing. The only problem is, unless you're at Magic Con Vegas or Magic Spotlight Final Fantasy in Chiba, Japan, guess what? You're not gonna be able to fucking get a hold of these. So I'm sorry if you wanted them,
Yay.
either pay somebody like a grand for them or fuck off.
And this is happening the same time there are Pokemon scalpers going crazy because people aren't buying their over ridiculous prices.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, Final Fantasy trading card events may award pro promo cards as well. Please refer to the Final Fantasy trading card game announcement about opportunity to receive these promo cards. Hopefully, Square Enix, who I think directly manage the Final Fantasy card game, hopefully they will actually be like, hey, yeah, you can get this at your local game store. Hopefully, because hopefully they're not that fucking stupid. Anyway, it's annoying because I think the art is really cute and I would absolutely use the Alizé card in my Y'shtola deck. But I can't, so I'm just gonna fucking proxy it. So fuck you, wizards. People could print things themselves, you fool.
No, you should like just get really good at copying the art style to the point where people can't tell the difference.
Just distribute them.
See,
Yeah.
like, it's
Anyway.
like it should do the equivalent of I remember when like the Bored Ape NFTs were still really huge,
Uh-huh.
and there were all the jokes going, "I'm just going to copy paste it and say I bought it."
Yeah.
No one could tell the difference.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just like you did a cool collab with another card game and it's available. And you have these things called local game stores that you could distribute promos to. You know, why
Yep.
not do that?
I'd even like the idea of having like one off, like a small, like maybe three to a store,
Uh huh.
and it's honestly a tournament.
Yeah,
It used to be fun. It could at least be
yeah,
like then you could like spin some real world card game anime logic uh, mythology about this dude about whoever wins like
yeah.
the wins the prize cards.
Like they kind of did with the. So they've got a Chocobo pin by Pinfinity that you need to get 20 points to get it, but you get 3 points for participating in a draft, 1 point for winning a game in a draft, because so you could maybe up to like 6 points, and a point I think for every person you introduce or bring with you, every +1 that's new to the hobby. So it's like that's how you do that kind of thing. It's like, hey, if you participate in the game, not just spend money, but participate in the game, you get points, and then you get things for those points. That makes sense. Admittedly,
Yeah, that's that.
it the time frame on the Chocobo thing is a bit short, which is a little annoying. But at least there's a lot more of
Fair.
them available. So if you can't get one, you could probably just bung your mate like 10, 15 quid for it. Or just yeah, and it's like at least it's not like, and this is they're available at local game stores, not just at some fucking convention that 90% of Magic players will never be able to go to.
Yeah, it's like in America, which
Yeah,
means if you're not in America, good luck.
and loads of people don't even want to fucking go to America right now. I wonder why.
Yeah, probably the riots. Been following that.
That and just the country's just kind of gone downhill in the shit in general. So yeah, it's just that
I mean,
no.
it just made me laugh now I think on it. All these conventions, like the big American ones, take place in cities that are going downhill really quickly.
Yeah.
Like San Francisco, right? The big MCM location. It's like it's known for being like a bit of a drug den now. needles in the streets kind of bad.
Yeah.
Um, but still, let's host MCM. I'm sure that's
Yeah, that's
a great rep.
fine. It's like, okay. But yeah, it's like people don't want to go to America for various reasons. So like, oh, your other option's Japan. I mean, I guess it's like, okay, if you
Yeah,
know enough
but it's cleaner.
Japanese to play in a Japanese event, sure.
Oh, and you're a foreigner, so don't never forget. If
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
foreigner, that'd be.
Anyway, that's my critical fumble for the week. I just
They
I
never failed to provide content for us down at Wizards.
Yep.
Yes. What we got next?
I guess it's time for our homebrews of the
Yes.
week.
This one was a funny one because I've never written for troika before.
Hmm.
Um, and I had very little to go off actually. It was very freeform.
Ah.
Uh, so what I did was I focused on my favorite part of the free rules,
Uh-huh.
the oops table. I wrote an oops
Yes.
table. And for this, we thought it'd be quite funny. We'll go through some of the better ones. But do you have any 2d6 to hand at the moment?
I don't know. I'm in the office right now. Wait, maybe I've got some in my
Okay.
backpack. Hang on a second. Hold up.
Come
Do
on.
I have my
That'd be
emergency
funny if we could.
dice?
Oh, amazing! It would be quite funny if we could test this because I've got a whole table and I'll go through the funny results in a bit.
Hold
Uh,
up. Let me just.
okay. So for the
Aha!
sake of,
I've got
oh my god,
AD6.
okay.
It's the one from my dice of disappointment.
Can you at least see all the numbers on it? Enough.
Yes, I can see every number except the 6.
Okay, well, I know what it is. Okay, might be funny if we just try and generate three results and we'll just see what different. We'll see what's on there
Okay. So we've
because they're all
got.
kind of wacky.
Let's roll it on the table, shall we? 6 total.
We'll clean pot. Yep,
We've got
6 total. I'll make a note of that.
3. 6, so 6 then 3 total. And then 9. 6, 3, and 9.
Well, that's fun. Okay, so 6. This is where the theme is. So orange clouds form overhead. Named a strange
Orange.
liquid that smells faintly of old car seats. The finally decided what orange smells like. The rain lasts for one. The rain lasts for 1 hour, but the
Uh-huh.
smell lasts for 2 hours.
Oh.
You just smell like old car seats. 3 is the caster's voice becomes incredibly high and then incredibly low in an alternating pattern for the next hour. So per word.
Wow.
And they're all kind of wacky. So 9. Which one is 9? Oh, this is fun. The caster's footsteps sound like monkey shrieks for the next hour, regardless of how stealthy they try to be.
Okay.
So they're all kind of random. I think I've had a go at being wacky this week. I think my person. So there's some good ones I like number. If you roll a 4, all cups, mugs, and wine glasses become drinking horns in a mile radius.
That is
So even if they're if they're not
wacky.
being carried, I guess they just fall. So that's funny.
Uh.
Um, 12 was very good. Yes, one right. Oh, 10 and 12 were very silly. So 10 was the caster believes they are another class. For the next day, you roll randomly to decide which class they believe they are.
Oh no.
And 12, I just went full silly with it. A group of 4 Emperor Tamarins appears on the caster's shoulders and sings a strange song with only the lyrics ooh and ah.
Oh no.
The leader of the group has a little top hat, bow tie, and cane.
Well, that is delightfully silly.
They last for an hour. They're loyal to the caster. They can follow commands, but they always like sing their strange little monkey song the whole time. Then they disappear in a puff of purple smoke.
Amazing.
Yes, the oops table's ridiculous. I love the oops tables. I had a lot of fun with what weird stuff could I pull off. Um, what have you managed to pass from the troika system?
So, I've made a new creature based on one of the
Oh,
minis we
really?
were looking at last week on Bad Squiddo Games.
Oh no.
It's a zombie snowman.
Ooh,
So it's got skill 2, stamina
okay.
5, initiative 1, armor 1, damages as weapon. It's mean. On a 1, aimless, 2, confused, 3, disassociating, 4, hungry, 5, irritated,
Associate.
and 6, starving and angry. Because, zombie snowman.
Starving.
Yeah, because zombie snowman. Don't question the how or the why. Zombie snowmen just are. When a zombie snowman bites a snowman, that snowman becomes a zombie. Obviously. Who is patient zero? Probably a summer zombie who needed a cold drink. Anyway, not important. Zombie snowmen are shambling shufflers who hunger for snow, and sometimes very cold brains. Lacking feet, they get around by sliding everywhere. They have to use ski slopes to get height, being unable to jump. Zombie snowmen are able to tear globs off themselves to throw at their prey, cooling and slowing them. Occasionally, you might spot a rare yellow zombie snowman. It is unwise to eat these.
It's a
The
they
don't eat.
can they slide everywhere,
Yeah.
but can they swim?
They can swalive. So they're special. They regenerate 1 stamina each turn they start on snowy terrain because they're snowmen. They may spend 1 stamina to throw a snowball. Snowballs reduce movement by half for the next turn, on top of the damage that they would otherwise deal as normal. So yeah, it's like he is like an effect-based attack that's ranged, and they also are annoying if you're in snowy conditions. I don't know what a zombie snowman looks like, but I guess it looks like that miniature. I think it was. I thought it was just a
Hey,
really
it just had a
funny,
thought.
weird idea.
Yeah, yeah, it just had a thought. I think we finally found the perfect system to recreate uh, the Eye of Argon in
Oh no!
this troika. It's the only system that makes sense for it because the rules make no sense. It's very silly.
Yeah,
I think an accordion man would fit perfectly into troika, and it'd be like, okay,
yeah. So yes, if you want a use for those zombie snowmen from Bad Squirrel Games, this homebrew for Troika has you covered. But not content to stop with just Troika stuff, I may have
oh,
made
okay.
a whole bunch of other things. So I won't go through all of them. If you want to look at everything, you'll just have to join the Discord and look at the documentation there. But we've got about 15, 16 odd new homebrews for 5th edition from the Magic the Gathering setting of Mirrodin, or New Phyrexia, as it's now kind of in the thing. And I have created, or rather added to, the Mirrodin Phyrexian Compendium, which is about. Let me have a look. It's about. Wait, could you? Yeah, it's about 10,438 words long, with roughly like 50 odd things in it at the moment. I will be putting that in the chat at some stage, and I will continue to add to this until it is basically a free to use campaign setting book for 5th edition.
Okay.
Yeah, so should be interesting. So, I'll just talk about one of the new things.
All right.
Compatible, yes. So, we've got one of the new things I made is something called an Arcbound Mouser. So, Arcbound creatures are basically like mechanical. They're like organically, like naturally generating mechanical creatures, which is kind of common in Mirrodin, but they are kind of filled with electricity. Like, imagine like electric eels, but not quite.
Okay.
So yeah, they have like an electrical charge that it's like a blue electrical thing, usually in the abdomen and stomach section, and yeah, they tend to eat things that will recharge them. And but otherwise, they just act like the thing that they are. So the Arcbound Mouser is a cat for it's a cat, but they have different abilities based on what they are, but they all have the ability Arcbound. So they all start with a amount of Arcbound counters, in this case 1. They get extra they get extra constitution and extra of their core stat, in this case dex, for each arcbound encounter they have. When they are killed or when they die, they transfer their arcbound counters to another construct creature within 60 feet of them. So they make things stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's how the arcbound stuff works. Anyway, the arcbound Mauser, it could be used as a house cat if you like static.
It's not much of a cat, but sure.
If you want to look at the card art, it is pretty cool. Arcbound
Oh,
Mouser.
let's have a look.
But you
Have a
get the
look.
general vibe. They're like kind of
Odd,
coursing
odd,
with like blue
odd
electrical light.
pound mouse. So that's a very different. That's okay. That's annoying me. Uh, it's called a mouser. My brain went, "Oh, that's a cat." It is not a cat. It's not a cat. It's not a mouse at all. It's a cat.
Yeah, yeah. So Mouser, as
That's
in something that hunts mice.
what it mouses.
Yeah, Mouser. Because they used to call them Mousers on ships
Okay.
and stuff, you know. Ship's Mouser.
Look what that's what they came to when a cat is one less syllable. But okay,
Yeah, well, it's like
maybe they
Arcbound.
mirrored
The
in.
dog is Arcbound Tracker. So I guess they wanted to
Ah,
make a
fair.
slightly more interesting name. But then they just
Offhand
have.
cat's a bit like. Yeah.
But then they have like Arcbound Whelp for Dragon, which is kind of sure. Arcbound Condor. So they could have just called it like they could have just called it like Arcbound Manx or something, like a specific
Hot dog
species of cat. Yeah, or like
or archhound.
yeah, or
Could see that
Arcbound
working.
Dane or whatever, or
That works.
Arcbound Bloodhound. Actually, no, because yeah, or I don't know, Arcbound Greyhound or whatever. Sure. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've
Can you,
done. There's a lot of
is,
other things in there
is
as
there the
well.
spell card Ogbound Zoomies that I can give to the
Arcbound
examiner?
Zoomies.
I mean, is that spell?
Man. But yeah, there's a load of wondrous items in here as well, such as the tumble magnet. The tumble magnet can be used to expend the reaction of a creature within 5 feet of the user, or disable a magic tech or tech item's effect within 5 feet of the user for 1 round. And they have 3 charges that don't regenerate normally. You have to get the charge.
Oh, okay.
You have to apply the charges via other means.
That's that's fine.
And yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that, and I'll be adding to this over time. You will know it based upon the be like so at the moment it'll be like 0.1 and then it'll be like 0.2 until it's like an alpha, etc, etc. That's that. And
Okay.
yeah, so that's homebrew of the week. So do we have you been gaming of anything lately for Skirmish Report, or even if it's just D&D
I
stuff?
have it. Yes,
Ooh.
I yes, I have been playing. I said trying to play it with limited success. Um, I don't know if you know the game. I probably went. There's a game called Lost Souls of Tong Nu.
Uh-huh.
It's a,
Sounds
it's a
vaguely familiar.
very it's a very strange game, and I've always wanted to play it. Uh, just out of curiosity. And some crazy person on the internet has managed to compile this game,
Right.
a localized version of it from Japanese, and it is playable on DOS or DOSBox,
Uh-huh.
and it sort of half works because I've yet to figure out DOSBox properly. It's like it's weird. It's got to be even setting it up is weird because it opens up a whole other mini operating system to emulate Windows 95 to even run it.
Right.
So I have to go into the files and find the file the little emulated operating system with all the old retro icons and then get to run. And I can't make the screen any bigger. So that's been fun.
Uh-huh.
Well, when you do actually get into the game, it's every bit as weird as I thought it was. Um, but I was also quite there was a lot of reading, like a lot of reading,
Makes
because
sense.
it's all about Japanese and Chinese mythology. So it's a puzzle game with mythology as its logic base. So some of its puzzles are really, really strange. It's the kind of game where nothing can happen for a bit, and then you get jumped at by some strange mythological figure that tells them all about themselves, then leaves. It's like, okay.
So thank you.
But that will somehow be a clue to a puzzle later.
Oh, is that the fucking one with the I am going, but he like speaks really quietly. I am going to defeat you.
I
Thanks,
know that
Hades.
there was a Hercules game, wasn't it?
Oh, that was the Hercules one, right?
I'll get some. I'll just send some screenshots because that will explain exactly what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'll just send some images over of what the game's like. It will make
Okay,
possibly
I
some
will have
sense,
a
but
peepers.
probably not play. And now I have. Uh, I sure know a lot. I sure know a little bit about Chinese mythology.
Oh my goodness. What is this? Holy! It's. Do you know what this guy reminds me of? Do you remember? What is it? The Phantom Menace, the guy that lives in the ocean, the king of the. Not. It's not
Oh
guns.
yes,
That guy.
Boss Nass, wasn't it?
Yeah, this look guy reminds me of Boss Nass, except with like a chin eye. Boss Nass if he had way more eyes and a
The
chin
game's fun
eye.
like this. You'll be walking along a strange, multicolored nightmare spiritscape, and then suddenly a dude will say, "Hello, my name is Gajong, and here's a weird puzzle. Bye," and then they'll just disappear.
My name is
The
Gashol.
game's
From
like,
the bottom to the top, shall I put on a show? Gashol. Man, what in
yeah,
the. Oh, this is very DOS,
yeah,
isn't it? Whoa, this
yeah, and
is very
then
cursed.
after all that, the game just goes right. Figure it out.
It's like
You
LSD
get,
Dream Emulator, but you actually have to solve puzzles.
yeah, but LSD Dream Emulator though, have you played that? That's much easier to run than this
Oh,
because that's PS1. You can emulate that pretty quickly. Um,
yeah.
Also, the dream one can make more sense of it because it doesn't have to make sense. It's a dream. Sure, pink elephants fly out the ground, and there's the grey man
Yeah.
approaching me. This all makes sense. Uh, but you don't have to do anything in Dream Emulator. This is a puzzle game with a strict goal of you have to find some lost celestial instruments and reincarnate a few times to do it. So there's things you have to get done.
Yeah. I gotta go back to work. Why is there bees
It does
now?
have a little bit of that. Like you need to go to the fire realm and find a drum. Give it to this guy. And somehow it will make sense. Oh, there's better. There is a sequel that I didn't know about 2 years later, and they have access to the sequel too, which is the same thing but in space.
Oh.
But yeah, that's fun. But it has been a really fun experiment in trying to figure out how on earth DOS boss
DOS
Docsbox
boss.
Docsbox. That's a good one. DOSBox. There we go.
Bogs DOS.
I've been looking at the images too long. It's telling me it's going to put on a show. Um, yes, it's the same thing but in space. So it makes even less sense, which is just great. The Chu Teng one's really impressive because it didn't get localization until like 2 years ago or something silly.
Yeah.
It never really saw light of day outside of Japan and or China. So it's like, you know, it made anyone
Yeah.
even heard about this thing.
I love stuff like that because some of the weird stuff. It's like there's that game that was on the PS1 but only in Japan where you look after a fish with a man's face.
But yeah, Seaman,
Yeah, that was
Seaman,
weird. That was
Leonard
very
Nimoy
weird.
did the voice.
Or the
For
one where
some
you are a mosquito and you have to fly into the rooms of women and suck
reason,
their blood. That was also really weird.
I think that was just called Mr. Mosquito, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And then
Remember right?
the one that we did get in the West, Katamari, also makes no fucking sense.
You're the Prince of the Moon.
You're the Prince of the
All right.
Cosmos. Here's a ball. Go stick some stuff to him.
Latin things.
We need
Well, the
cows.
music's
What you
really
mean we need
catchy.
cows? Go and pick up some cows. I can't, it's too small. Then pick up some signs of cows until it's big enough to pick up actual cows. Does milk count as a cow? Yes. What you mean, yes?
Remember, I love how the music's really catchy in that. I've never played the game, but I know the music
Yeah.
really vividly.
So, my skirmish report of this week is, of course, Final Fantasy Magic's been coming out, so I've been playing with the
Right.
Y'shtola deck. I've upgraded it a bit so it produces more tokens and has less creatures in it because she cares about non-creature spells, so why put more creatures in the deck? I don't know. And it's fun, actually. The decks are a lot of fun. I feel like the Cloud one is probably the strongest, particularly when
Oh,
by default rather than with upgrades. The
oh,
Y'shtola one is the best one because she's in perfect control colors, so you can make just Y'shtola control, and she is the win con of the deck. She just goes, "Oh, I counter your thing because it was a non-creature spell of like 3 or more mana. You lose 2 life, I gain 2 life." And I can just sit on just Y'shtola, prevent anyone from playing the game, and still win.
that's fun.
Yeah, but I've built it in a more fun way than that because is it weaker? Sure, but I would rather be
Because
weaker than
you want friends in the
yeah. I
day.
want friends. Cloud Cloud likes having a lot of equipment attached to him and then smacks people. I
But
forget what
yes,
Terra does, and I forget the other one, but they're also quite interesting. I know of
having read
Cloud
it,
a lot more.
Cloud is he becomes
So the commander deck,
indestructible
yeah,
when he has
yeah,
Ultima. But he's equipped him with because he's unkillable. It's great.
yeah. So the Cloud from the commander decks is a 3 color one.
It is.
Yeah, and he's like, oh okay. He's like, think something has 7 or more power. I do a thing now. Okay.
Beatrice is also one of the better cards in that deck as well, which is
Hmm.
like a 4/4 lifelink. It's quite mean. It is a mess
Yeah.
about.
But yes, so I've been doing that. Um, and unfortunately, the store that I go to has already sold out of packs, so I can't do my entry with a Final Fantasy pack, which is a shame. Thanks. I guess it's. I don't even know if it's scalpers or it's just like distribution, and whether it's just really popular. I don't know. I guess
It was
time
gonna
will
sell out.
tell. Yeah, it really popular like series gonna sell out. But hopefully they will be able to get more in, and I can have funny things. But that's my skirmish sport, very basic. I've been working on that. I've also looked at a way of doing Y'shtola where you just play a lot of mana rock cards. So you're just constantly
Right?
casting mana rock, so every turn you can do more. And then you draw cards with other effects. And just, it's kind of more like combo oriented than control or creature based. Just like, yes, I have lots of mana. I'm going to make cast things that give me more mana, which triggers their effect. I'm going to drain you all whilst making lots of
So,
mana.
so the solitaire deck.
Eh, not really, because there is some. Because it's like. You can interact with it because it's not like it's preventing you from. It's not like it's preventing anyone from doing anything. I'm just making mana, basically.
That's fair.
It's actually surprisingly fair. And there's a few like the payoffs other than her are like cards with like 10 or higher mana costs. Things like make a
Okay.
whole bunch of 1/1 Pegasi equal to your life total. Costs 10
Oh
mana.
no.
They're not like necessarily very good splashy spells, and there's a couple that give me an extra turn, but it's not like I'm going to spam them. But it's just I can actually cast these. This is the only deck where I'll ever be able to really cast them, so I might as well give it a shot in testing because I use an app for it to test decks, and it is kind of funny. Is it good? I don't know, but it is funny.
Oh, I can wait to find out on Thursday.
It's because no, I've not got it in paper. I guess I could build it in paper, but
Oh, fair. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
it's online. Anyway, so that is Skirmish Report. Do do we have any closing thoughts for this week? We're almost to the end of our
Yeah,
time.
one immediate closing thought. We have to spin the homebrew
Oh
wheel.
yes, of course. Speed the
So
wheel.
remaining, we have Lovecraft, underrated video game, Foreign
Uh-huh.
Myth, and Cold Monster.
Ooh.
So I'll give that a spin. We should generate a theme for the spin. Oh, that's good. How appropriate. It is Foreign Myth. Any
Ooh.
foreign myth. So uh, just non-English. Shall we go? Is that? Or do you want non-British?
And non-British, yeah, because otherwise you could just cop out and just go
Non-British.
Irish. The mail.
Oh, yeah, I've already done that already. No, that's fair. Okay, so non-British myth. Just go crazy with it. Um,
Awesome sauce.
no, we've been through quite a lot. That's all right with me.
Actually, I know exactly what I can do with that because I can do something that's not only a non-English British myth thing, but that's also a magic thing. Because of course they did a set trilogy called Kamigawa, which is all about Japanese myth and things like
oh, of
kami
course,
and
they're not
stuff
going
like that.
to.
You know, back when Wizards
They're
actually
not.
cared about their settings.
Yeah, now it's just we bought them out. So they're not going to do Gasho.
Good
That's quite
show.
tempting.
Oh my goodness gravy. Anyway, that'll be our theme for next week. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on the next episode of the podcast. Same Byzantian time, same Byzantian channel. Where's me? I mean, so I close the thing. That was very clever of me, wasn't it? Where's the theme? There it is. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Rating. Eeny, meeny, miny. So, remember that you can find us on Twitch, you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on probably other places too at some point. See you all soon.
We are working on how to play on school calculators, but not quite there yet.
Yeah.
We are working on.
All right. This episode of the Byzantian Brewscast was brought to you by Cement.
We love big cement.
We
No
love big
conspiracy.
cement.